Hi, I'm Linnea Sherber, and this is my Key Kids case study for my EDFD 460 class. This case study took place within the Key Kids after-school program at Madison Elementary School. Over the course of 6 weeks, I was able to visit the children in the program every Friday from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. According to the Key Kids website, it is a safe, enriching childcare environment. Children have a fun place to explore, make new friends, play games, and make arts and crafts. Here, I studied interactions with several children and even got to develop some great and authentic relationships with a few of them. I was able to notice a decent amount of diversity within the group of my kids. Out of about 30 kids, there were a handful of minority students. On my first day, I was welcomed with a hug by a second grader named Anna. I was also introduced to Josie and Jalen, sisters who were half African American and half white, along with Kylie, who was Hispanic and white, and twin boy and girl named Michael and Leah, who were African American and also both had hearing impairments. When it came to first impressions, I felt welcomed with open arms, literally. Like I said, I was hugged by a young girl named Anna, and she wanted to play with me right away. Kids also invited me to play Foursquare with them outside. I was happy to see everyone playing so nicely and not leaving anyone out. During snack times, I was included in everyone's conversations. They mostly consisted of girls talking about getting their ears pierced and what they wanted to be for Halloween. On one of my first days, I noticed an African American girl who had braids in her hair with beads at the bottom. While we were outside playing, about 3 girls who were white were fascinated with her hair, touching it and admiring her braids and how thin they were. One girl asked, "Does it hurt?" Hope laughed and said, "No." This showed me that Hope didn't really like this kind of attention and probably has dealt with it before. I related the situation to our Race in the Schoolyard chapters 2 and 3, where it discusses how one school students had little exposure to multiculturalism. They didn't really understand Black culture and were mostly used to the kids that looked like them. When it came to Anna, and since she was Vietnamese and carried a bit of an accent, when it came to her culture, she often closed herself away. Many of her friends would ask her to say something in Vietnamese, but this made her uncomfortable. "No, I can't tell you," she said. "It is a secret." Anna said that she only talks like that when she is at home and nowhere else. I asked Anna if she was okay, but she just told me that she simply didn't like talking about her family life while she was at school. Anna also mentioned that her real name wasn't actually Anna, and her mom's American name was Amy. The fact that her family members needed to change their name to fit into American culture more easily really shocked me. I found that I could relate this situation to the story that we read on Native American assimilation. When I went to Madison for the first time, I noticed that it was an older school located just a few blocks away from the WSU campus. When I got inside, I noticed that there was no air conditioning and there were fans in almost every single room of the school. This was very hard on the kids the first couple of days because the temperatures outside reached over 90 degrees. There was one room in the building, however, that did have air conditioning. It was a special education classroom, and the kids found it to be a luxury for them when they were able to go inside. When it came to class, I could tell that majority of the students came from middle class because they were well dressed and often talked about the new toys that they got for their birthdays, such as Shopkins and Hatchimals, which are some of the most expensive toys on the market right now. Overall, I learned a countless amount of things from my experience at Key Kids, but most of all, I loved seeing that not one child was criticized over their race, their ability, their class, or their gender. The children at Key Kids come for one thing only, to play with one another and learn about each other. I also learned that kids overall can teach and don't just have to be the learners. They are also brave, welcoming, and eager to learn about new people, and they love to include everyone and are always ready to be a friend.
Created using Powtoon.